smokers, guys, we got to talk about some competitive threats coming for Tesla, all right? As you know, I'm a Tesla shareholder, and I wanted to give my thoughts around a couple competitive threats. One is around Rivian that announced some new vehicles, and another is around Audi, which came out with the E Tron. And I want to talk about both those products into depth. By the way, I've been slacking so much in the past week on YouTube. I apologize for that. I need to save my voice for the conference yesterday, which was amazing. It was one of the coolest days of my life. Thank you once again for everybody who came. I know I thanked you guys about 85 times yesterday, but thanks again. It means a lot. That was one of the coolest days ever, all right? So let's get into this, guys. First off, Rivian. So Rivian shows off some new products this week, all right? So this company named Rivian, they show off a pickup truck that looks pretty freaking cool. Like, I gotta say, it matches a good futuristic look with also being like tough, okay? I think it's a good design. I like it. It's the headlights are definitely very, very different. That is not something you see every day. But if you look at the pictures, it's a pretty good looking car. It's very, very interesting, okay? Rivian also announced an SUV, which is very, very similar to the pickup truck. It just has a third row of seating and whatnot, all right? So following the launch of their R1T all pickup truck last night, EV startup Rivian is following up today with an all-electric SUV, all right? They're talking about 0 to 60 in around 3 seconds, which is absolutely insane. Around 410 miles of range, which is ridiculous. As far as a pickup truck, that's supposed to hold about 5 passengers, and the SUV is going to hold about 7. But if you're fitting kids in, you can put at least like 20 in there, okay? Now, as far as the specs on this, the R1T, that one is supposed to be able to go 400 plus miles, supposedly, okay? If you get the 180 kilowatt hour battery pack, okay? 180, like that's amazing, 400 plus mile range if it does that. 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. As far as the R1S, if you get the 180 kilowatt hours, you're looking at 410 miles plus, supposedly. And also that one 0 to 60 in around 3.2 seconds, which is, you know, amazing there, okay? So if you're looking at the specs of Rivian, it's really, really impressive. And like I said, I think they matched a good amount of toughness in those vehicles with also kind of like a futuristic electric design, all right? Now, supposedly these vehicles are supposed to have some kind of autonomous driving features in them. We don't know how in-depth those autonomous driving features are going to be, okay? That's a very hard subject that only a couple companies in the entire world are really tackling right now, all right? Now, Rivian confirmed that the price is supposed to start around $72,500 before incentives, and availability should be in late 2020 on these products. So these products are supposed to start around $70,000 supposedly. That's before incentives, and they're supposed to be available in late 2020 at some point, all right? That price point seems really aggressive to me when I just kind of look at like what you need to kind of make a profitable electric vehicle, and I look at, you know, kind of like, you know, Rivian's kind of like more of a startup as of right now, right? They haven't produced anything in any types of volumes, right? So I think that price point is a little aggressive there if I'm looking at this, all right? So Rivian moved to the Detroit area from Florida in 2015. Now it has its headquarters, designing and engineering center in a former cash register factory in Michigan, all right? So Rivian now has 4 other locations: a battery lab in Irvine, California, a connected car and autonomous research and development center in San Jose, California, a small engineering office in the United Kingdom, and a manufacturing center under the development in Illinois, all right? They just bought a 2.4 million square foot former Mitsubishi factory for a reported $16 million, which 2.4 million square feet for $16 million. I gotta say, they got a pretty good deal there in my personal opinion, okay? With plans to sink more than $40 million into the plant by 2022. Production is set to begin there next year. Now, first off, $40 million into the plant by 2022, that is not a lot of money. Like, if you understand like the car business, like $40 million, you can go really, really fast when you're dealing with, you know, the auto industry and setting up lines and setting up machines to move things around. Like 40 mil can go really, really fast. Like, I saw that number and I was like, did they forget a zero on there? Do they mean 400 million? Like 40 million, that's not a lot of money, all right? We've already got a team of around 60 people in that facility, said Mark Vinos, the company's executive director of engineering and programs. All the tooling, paint shop, and everything, configuring it for how we're going to build this car. Those guys are intimately involved with the design of all components, and we have been there for a couple years. So the design for manufacturing and the quality aspirations that we've got for the vehicle, that's a key part of it, all right? Now, the question that's got to come to everybody's mind for something like this is, where is the money coming from to even fund a project like this, right? This company's not producing anything right now. They got people hired, they got staff, they got factories. Where's the money coming from for this? It's not owned by another big corporation or something like that. So where's the money coming to fund this business? Well, in May, the Chicago Tribune reported that Rivian had secured a $200 million loan to begin production and had raised $450 million to date. It said investors included the Sumo Wrestling Corporation of America and the investment arm of Saudi company Abdul Latif Jamel. It has also received state and local tax incentives in Illinois. So first off, for Rivian, I'm excited about this company. Like, I'm excited for more push into the electric space and get people excited. And when people see a pickup truck that's all electric, and like I said, I'm a fan of the design. Like, I think they matched a good amount of the futuristic, like, you know, electric look, and I think they matched a good amount of, you know, looking tough and whatnot. I'm excited because this just brings more and more excitement into electric space. But I do worry about a company like Rivian because it is so early days there. We've seen a lot of promising EV companies come out with concepts or show off at one of these shows and get a lot of attention, and then it ends up producing nothing, okay? A couple of the biggest ones as of right now, one is Faraday Future, which has dealt with potentially a crippling blow. This just came out earlier this week. While almost out of cash now, Faraday Future is, okay? Now, the good thing is for Lucid Motors, at least they got the recent $1 billion investment from the Saudi fund. They were supposedly struggling for a while there. But we've seen a lot of companies kind of, you know, come into the EV space, maybe announce a product or they're going to do something, and you know, people get excited around it, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they run out of money or something like that. But I'm excited for these companies that are really like electric first. And the reason being is, if I look at like what the big auto manufacturers are doing, like, they're putting out such boring, lame products that almost make people not want to get electric cars. Like, and I think that's literally their goal. Like, let's make the cars as ugly as possible so people don't want to buy them, okay? If you look at the Chevy Bolt, like, look at that thing, okay? The Nissan, the Leaf, like, are you kidding me? Like, who would want to drive that thing, okay? You gotta, like, no, okay? BMW, well, like, look at BMW's i3. Like, that BMW is supposed to be like really good at design and like really make attractive cars and blah, blah, blah. And look at the BMW i3. Like, what is that thing? Come on, guys. So if I look at just like the main automakers out there that are, you know, have been, you know, the ICE automakers, let's put it that way, they have been putting out horrible designs. There's no excitement there from those guys. All of a sudden, you know, over the past year, they announced, oh, we're going to invest blah, blah, blah amount of money into electric vehicles and whatnot. And the lack of care and respect they have shown the entire electric industry makes me excited about the other guys coming up, all right? Now, something very interesting here I read here came out of Tesla Rarity, okay? Rivian got a surprise visit from Tesla chief design, I can never say his last name, Franz von Hausen. I can never say that guy's last name. But anyways, he's one of the most important people at Tesla. When people think about Tesla, they kind of think Elon Musk first, obviously, and then their chief of design there. Like, so many people feel like if they didn't have this gentleman, like, their cars would not be nearly as attractive as they are, and made so many people excited around the Tesla brand. So it's interesting he paid them a visit. Is this like a company that maybe Tesla would want to acquire? Maybe not at this stage, just because Tesla just is getting to like a profitable stage, and I know Tesla already has its own products in development right now around a pickup truck. Model Y should be shown off sometime maybe within the next 6 to 9 months. So it is possible Tesla could try to buy someone like a Rivian. It is also possible that someone from the big auto sector could try to buy a company like Rivian, someone like a GM, Ford, but I'm not sure. You know, if I was GM or I was Ford, this company being partly headquartered in Michigan, like, I would contact these guys on the regular and try to buy them out. Like, if I was running GM, if I was running Ford, realizing the products we have are becoming less and less relevant by the day, okay? If I was those companies, I would try to pony up whatever amount of cash I could to go ahead and buy a company like Rivian if I was those guys. But the question is, do those guys even recognize how serious this is going to get over the next few years with the electric wave, all right? So that's a part we got to talk about. Audi E Tron got showed off, and I got to say, damn, this is a good looking car, okay? The Audi E Tron, this is a GT version. My goodness, that is a good looking car they showed off, all right? Now the inside, not a big fan of that, and I have some questions around the inside because they're still using a lot of buttons and whatnot. Tesla, especially with the Model 3, was able to integrate so many things into their center console, which makes it a more profitable car. If you're looking at Audi from the interior perspective, they're still doing a lot of button work, okay? A lot of different things, but I gotta say the car looks really, really good in my personal opinion. That is a sharp looking car. That's a car I would be proud to drive right there, okay? Now, a lot of people got excited about this Audi, not just because it's a good looking car, but also because this car is supposed to do 0 to 60, or 0 to 62, we should say, in around 3.5 seconds, or 124.3 miles per hour in around 12 seconds. So a very powerful car. Audi claims that you're going to be able to do a 20-minute charge, and that 20-minute charge is going to be able to get you 200 miles. That is a big, big statement there that Audi's claiming, okay? So Tesla claims the Model S 100D can recharge for 170 miles in around 30 minutes, all right? Now, obviously, the Model S is actually available for people to actually own and whatnot. The Audi E Tron is still just like talked about, so we don't know if Audi's claims are maybe just too ambitious. We've seen a lot of companies in electric space, when they show off a car at a car show or something like that, they make these big, bold claims on, oh, this car is going to be able to do this and that, and then when the car actually comes out, when most of them never even come out, but if they do come out, they don't hit those numbers, or you have to pay like a ridiculously absorbent price to like get these type of features, all right? But needless to say, that would be exciting if they had something that, you know, you can get 200 miles of charge in only 20 minutes. Like, that's awesome, okay? Now, this car is not set to go on sale till around 2021, maybe late 2020 you can get it, but looking like around 2021. The price is estimated at well over $100,000, and that doesn't surprise me at all because Audi's probably not going to want to lose money on that. So that's going to cost a fortune. So me, when I look at this, there are kind of like three takeaways for me, just kind of looking at this, okay? The first is Rivian is really exciting. Like, that's really cool what they got going on, but it's really early days there, and it's not time to get too excited about a brand like that. I'm excited that they got attention. I'm excited that they, you know, got the idea out there of an electric pickup truck. That is so cool. But at the same time, it is so early days here, and we've seen so many electric car companies fail that have had, you know, investment funds, the VC funds put money into them, and it just doesn't work out, okay? So maybe it could work out with Rivian. I actually am rooting for them because I think the faster a second or third competitor to Tesla could succeed and actually become a real competitor in the EV space. I think it pushes not only Tesla faster, but then it also you know, will hurt the ICE automakers even more, and they'll realize, oh my gosh, if we even want any chance to survive, we got to put money into EVs, okay? Number two, you can't just buy your way in the space, okay? You know, a lot of people say to me, you know, especially friends and whatnot, oh man, you know, did you see VW? They're going to put $20 billion into electric cars by such and such year. And we've seen a lot of car companies, auto companies say they're going to do this and do that around. They're going to put this much money. You can't just buy your way into success, okay? If it was that easy, like everybody would have bought their way into success in the smartphone market, right? You know how many companies over the last 10 years have spent tens of billions of dollars or hundreds of billions of dollars on research and development of smartphones, coming out with smartphones, trying to have them succeed, and two companies make all the profits in smartphones, Apple and Samsung. They make all the profits in smartphones. Every other company you could possibly think of, every big tech company has come out with smartphones, and they've all flopped, and they've lost a lot of money on that, okay? You can't just buy your way into something, especially in a space as difficult as this. And the last point I want to make, number three, is Audi is fighting an old war at the end of the day, okay? 2021 release? Let's remember the Model S, the original Model S came out in 2014, all right? That's 7 years late, Audi. 7 years late, guys. Like, you know, you guys are fighting the old war. And by the way, Model S could have a refresh sometime here in the first part of 2019 and whatnot, okay? That's what a lot of people are starting to think. So Audi's fighting this old war of, you know, trying to sell the very high-end car market and whatnot, while Tesla's already on to the next war, which is the affordable electric car that people actually want, okay? The $30,000 and $40,000 price point electric car that people actually are excited about and actually want to get, okay? So Tesla's like so many years in front of these companies. This is why I try to explain it's such a big competitive advantage for Tesla. They're 5+ years out in front of all their competitors, whether we're talking on the startup space or whether we're talking on the ICE automaker space. They're so far out in front of everybody that it makes them a really tough company to compete with when you got this type of head start on everybody, just because the funding was wasn't there, or companies just didn't pay attention as closely as they should have. So Audi's fighting the old war, which was the high-end luxury market, and Tesla's already on to the next war. So just staying 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of all the competition. But needless to say, I'm happy those vehicles got more attention. Bringing it into the space, it just makes it bigger and bigger into the space. Thank you for watching and have a great day.